Here's a minute. Check. Okay, there we go. All right, we should have sound now. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, let me just give you guys a second here. So we are here. So I wanted to take a look at a couple different things for our solar eclipse forecast. So let's get right into it. So we have, this is today, and as you can see here, we've got a system that's rolling through today, and we're going to have another system that's going to be rolling through on Monday, the day of the solar eclipse. So you see, this is that system that rolls through today. This is the GFS model. And then as we get into Monday, there's the system that rolls through on Monday. You can see here what we're looking at. A lot of rain, showers, thunderstorms here across much of Texas, Arkansas, and southern Oklahoma through Mississippi, southern Missouri. And this will be impacting, kind of moving basically right along the path of totality through Monday into Tuesday. So it could be a little bit of an issue, especially across the southern viewing portions of the solar eclipse. And there's also a slight risk for severe weather for Monday for much of Texas, southern Oklahoma, western Louisiana, and southwest Arkansas here. You can see this is the slight risk area. So that's a level 2 out of 5. And then there's a marginal risk area that kind of surrounds that as well, which extends all the way through Arkansas, even there up into the southern portions of Missouri into western Tennessee as well. So that system is going to be moving through on Tuesday. Now the eclipse is going to be moving across these regions at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. And Pivotal Weather, they should just now be releasing here shortly. We're waiting for the new, this is as of 4 a.m. They'll be releasing a new forecast here for cloud cover that we're expecting. But you can see here, again, much of Texas, even into southern Arkansas, cloud cover expected. And then much of eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, western half of New York, a lot of cloud cover expected. And then clear. So again, we'll be getting a new update here in these regions. And this is where we're expecting all that rain, like we were just talking about here, across much of central eastern Texas through southern Arkansas. I mean, we could be seeing some pretty heavy rainfall across these regions. Just outside of the path of totality is where some of the heaviest rain could fall here over toward, Lufkin and Woodlands up towards Shreveport. But surrounding that, another thing we have to look at is the cloud thickness. So yeah, there could be clouds, but if it's partly cloudy, there's definitely a chance that we could see, that you could be able to see the eclipse pretty well. There in Iowa there, Megan, thanks for the comment. You're looking actually, pretty good as far as cloud cover goes there in Iowa. We've got one of our chasers. He'll be in Indiana, just east of Indianapolis, Indiana, on the day of the eclipse. That's Nick Carter. He'll be just on the east side of Indianapolis in a great location. Very little cloud cover expected. We'll be covering it here from Georgia, where we're at, on Monday. And we're also expecting very little cloud cover, just about 8%, 8% chance, 8 to 18% chance there. So it is looking good. We're waiting for this new data to be coming in here from Pivotal Weather. But while we're waiting on it, let's kind of dive in real quick a little bit more into this severe weather threat that we are expecting on Monday. So a couple different things that we're expecting here on Monday. Let's fast forward here. Oh, fast forward too far. There we go. So we can see here, this is Monday afternoon. This is our instability. So we're going to see those storms really firing up across the Red River region. Could see some pretty big hail with those storms across the Oklahoma, Texas area. I mean, we're talking some areas having Cape over 2,000, which is pretty significant. Definitely supportive of severe weather in that area. And even over here into Arkansas, which is again Little Rock and south there, that southern portion of Arkansas, I think is going to have a pretty good chance of seeing that rain and thunderstorms during the time when we are expecting the eclipse to occur. So I think it's going to be something that we're really going to have to keep an eye on. But I mean, we're 2 days out from the event right now, and all things are pointing to really the southern third, I would say, of that totality path that goes from Texas up through Little Rock, Arkansas. It's really not looking good for those areas. It's looking a little bit better for places further north between Missouri and Indiana into western Ohio is looking pretty good. But again, that's also going to be determined on the timing of the front that's going to be moving through those areas. If the front's a little bit slower than forecasted and a little bit further to the west than we're seeing right now, that's going to basically place those rain and showers and thunderstorms along the leading edge of that front right over the path of totality. But if it kind of moves through earlier in the morning, around 11, 12 o'clock, and it's further east, kind of like what we're thinking, then those places, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, could have pretty good viewing conditions depending on how much cloud cover there is behind the cold front as it moves off to the east. But that does, again, play into places like western New York, Erie, Pennsylvania. Those places could still be dealing with a lot of that cloud cover and shower activity as that front is moving off to the east on Monday afternoon. Now, let's kind of come back here real quick and take a look at our other model, which is the NAM model. Now that we're within 2 days, we're actually able to start getting a better view on some of the different localities. So let's kind of focus here on the south central U.S. real quick. And let's take a look at our precipitation forecast for this time, which is going to be later in the period here. So this is Monday. This is right around that 2 o'clock time frame. So again, we see not necessarily a ton of showers per se, mostly across Texas, but there's going to be a lot of cloud cover as these storms are kind of building up throughout the day on Monday and then moving into, you can see, Arkansas and Oklahoma. And the NAM model actually has some of this a little bit later, but there's still going to be building clouds here in the morning hours. And we can see some of our dew point temperatures here again. So very moist air here across eastern Texas into Oklahoma. So there's going to be plenty of moisture, lots of clouds kind of building in here on Saturday afternoon, right around that time. And that's kind of why we're thinking in this area here that it's going to be pretty hard to see the solar eclipse. And if you're watching the solar eclipse, you've got to be able to be mobile. You know, that's a great tip, you know, if you can, to be able to move from your location. Sometimes even just, you know, a few miles can make a difference between a partly cloudy sky and a clear sunny sky. So you've got to be able to be mobile, to get out, to be able to view the eclipse. Megan's asking, what time should we leave if we're in Sioux City? And yeah, Rob, you mentioned this. That's the dry line there on Saturday. That's what we have going on today. And then as you go forward, you can see that all kind of shifts off to the east, and you have a new moisture plume that builds here. This is Monday afternoon. So we've got 2 rounds of severe weather. We've got the round going through today, really further north across Nebraska and Kansas. And then Monday, all that moisture kind of pumps in here Monday afternoon across eastern Texas, southern Oklahoma. You'll have a bit of a warm front kind of draped here across that area. And remember, north of the warm front, you can get those lighter showers and storms to develop. And that's kind of what we're going to see take place on Monday. Now, temperatures are going to be pretty nice on Monday. And let me fast forward here a little bit. There we go. 18Z. So we're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s across this region. Further north, we're talking about low 70s across places like Missouri. And let me get back to Monday. Here we go. There we go. Places like Missouri in the 70s, upper 60s in around Indianapolis. And then over here, we can see those lower temperatures due to that rainfall across eastern Ohio into western New York. Temperatures only in the 50s across those regions. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out here over the next couple days. And taking a look here again at our area for severe weather, they do have a hatched risk area here across portions of Texas for Monday. So it may be one of those things where some people may see severe weather and the eclipse, you know, depending on exactly where you are and what the cloud cover is. You literally could see the eclipse and then later that day be seeing severe weather. So if you're in Texas and Oklahoma, make sure you not only you're keeping an eye out for what's going on with the eclipse, but you're also being aware that there is that severe weather threat on Monday as well. Places further north and east, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, not really going to be having any issues as far as severe weather goes, but cloud cover, definitely still a concern across some of these places. It should be coming out with the new forecast here. So we'll kind of check back in here on that. So, but yeah, if you're in Iowa, there in Iowa, you probably have, I think, about a 75% coverage there in Iowa. Now, if you're kind of able to make it down into Illinois and get to the totality path there, Megan, I would definitely recommend that, because I did the total solar eclipse in 2017 up in Dayton, Ohio, and it was absolutely phenomenal. You can check our YouTube channel and actually get to watch that video. I'll post a link in the description here of the live stream, so you can kind of, if you haven't seen it, you can get to kind of get an idea of what you may get to see. The interesting thing about this eclipse compared to the 2017 eclipse is the totality path is much wider than what we saw in the 2017 eclipse. So that's going to make things, allow more people to be able to actually see it than saw it in 2017. Also, the path is crossing a lot of pretty significant, cities or within driving range for a lot of people in these different areas. So hopefully, Carbondale, Illinois, that would definitely be a great place to go. Again, we're talking 4 places in Illinois. The cloud cover for those areas is definitely lower than further south. We're looking at maybe 35 to 37%. Let's kind of zoom in here real quick into that region. So we can see here, Carbondale, we're looking at about 36% chance of cloud cover there. Evansville, Indiana at about 41%. Indianapolis, it's gone up since yesterday. We were looking at about 24%, so it's increased slightly, now up to about 35%. Still in the low 20s, actually looking better here in Northwest Ohio, Lima, Ohio, about 22%. And as we continue here, let's take a look at New York. Buffalo, New York, again, this is definitely, we're seeing, they're thinking that front is pretty much going to be just passing through the Buffalo, New York, Jamestown region right around the time when totality could be occurring. So we're looking at about 74% cloud cover there. And then as we get into upstate New York, things rapidly clear out ahead of that front. Burlington, Vermont, only 12% at 2 o'clock Eastern. And then up here in New England, again, still looking really good. So if you live in Maine, folks, you are going to definitely have the best chance of seeing pretty clear skies across that area. So definitely a great place to be able to see the eclipse. And I also think, Arkansas, I would feel pretty good if I'm in, Conway, Russellville, even Little Rock, only 32%, Jonesboro, 30%. So Arkansas, I think, is going to be a pretty big hotspot zone for people to go and watch the eclipse on Monday afternoon. So it'll be interesting to see, how this changes, but we're really starting to see the forecast kind of solidify a little bit. We're seeing some of those percentages change, especially across portions of western New York over into Pennsylvania, seeing some of those things change. So, and again, between now and Monday, it's really all going to be possible to change, but we do know some things. Here are some things that we do know is basically going to be a for sure thing. Number one, we know that there is going to be severe weather somewhere across Texas into southern Oklahoma, possibly all the way over into northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. We've seen that now for the past 3 or 4 days. We know there's going to be a weather system that's going to be coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have a lot of moisture being pulled northward. That's going to increase our cloud cover during the heating of the day around 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time, which is about the same time that the solar eclipse will be traversing across those areas. Number two, we know that this front is going to be extended from western New York down toward the Mississippi River Valley, which again, along the leading edge of that front, there will also be cloud cover. Now, if that front moves slower or faster, this could ultimately determine the probability of being able to see the solar eclipse in places like Niagara Falls, Erie, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio. All of those different things will be taken into account. So we'll really have to kind of keep an eye on this forecast over the next day or so to see how this all shakes out. But I will say we're seeing, okay, here we go. So this is they've finally got the updated. So we went from 4 a.m. Now this is as of the 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So we can see here again, now a little bit different. This is just the latest information here on the cloud cover forecast, looking much better across portions of Arkansas, all the way up through western Ohio. We're really starting to see where that front's going to be at. They're still thinking, again, western New York, Pennsylvania. We can see this now. Even possibility places like northern Texas starting to look a lot better here. You know, Paris, Texas down to 34%, Dallas, Texas 40%. That front may be clear of these regions by the time the eclipse is going to be rolling through here. This is at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Monday. So things starting to look better for northern Texas, especially as we get here into Arkansas. This is the latest data. This is what we were waiting to come in here. Now coming in here. Latest cloud cover data coming in. Hot Springs, Conway, down in the 20% range. Much better looking here for Monday, 1 p.m. Let's come up here into Missouri with the latest data. Looking pretty great. Cape Girardeau, 24%. Carbondale, 28% now. So yeah, these numbers are definitely starting to decrease across much of the central path of totality on Monday. And then we move along here through Indiana, still in about the 30% range. Cincinnati, maybe a little bit rough, 52%, and 32% in Lima. Again, it's all going to depend on where exactly the front sets up. So it's going to definitely be something that if you can see it, be ready to see it, but, it can literally depend on the timing of a patch of clouds moving across your specific location. And that's why, again, I say you've got to be able to be mobile if you can. Be ready, if you see, that there's a lot of cloud cover in your area, but further off to the east, you're seeing that there's not as much cloud cover, then you can be prepared to move off to the east. And I'll show you a great, I'll drop this in this link here as well. This is the GOES satellite data, and you can actually, this is real time. So day of, this would be a great resource for you where you can literally be able to see what the clouds are like at your specific location, and you can literally zoom into a region and know, okay, I'm here. So, there's that, dry island that we were just talking about in the clouds. It's really cloudy there. But over here, maybe in eastern Texas, it may not be as cloudy, or just some high clouds moving across. So the GOES website here, I'm sure day of the eclipse, is going to be a fantastic resource for you to be able to use, to be able to see, okay, what are clouds looking like? So I would definitely recommend looking at something like this, an hour and a half before totality is expected in your area, because you can get these localized sectors, and they even can kind of filter out, different types of clouds. Visible is probably what you'll want to use. You'll be able to see where the clouds are. We can see clouds here across Oklahoma building in from the west. So this is an absolutely great tool that I would recommend to have up, or to at least look at the day of on Monday around noon or 1 o'clock for your area where you're at, to be like, okay, what's things looking like? And again, most systems going to be moving from west to east. And it auto refreshes about every 5 minutes. It'll refresh. So definitely something I think that is very helpful. If you want a wider view, you can use a regional sector, to be able to see what things are like. So if it was today, if the event was today, we would say, yeah, much of Arkansas, all Missouri, Illinois, Indiana looking beautiful. Ohio, not so much. Illinois, a lot of clouds up here, so this is, again, a great tool. Here's that system that we're talking about today. We're starting to see some of these storms here beginning to fire up across portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, and that's going to continue to develop here through the afternoon. But hopefully all of this has been helpful for you guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button if this broadcast has been useful to you. Feel free to share this with a friend maybe that didn't get to watch it live, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates. We'll definitely be doing some more live broadcasting on Monday. We'll be posting out another update probably Monday afternoon. Nick Carter, he'll be over in Indianapolis, and I'll be here as well, so we'll definitely be covering the total solar eclipse. So thank you so much for watching today and joining us on the live stream, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.